So in this video, we're going to talk about plotting points in polar coordinates. So the thing about polar coordinates to remember is that in polar coordinates, so in regular coordinates, we have an x and a y. So generally, if we were going to graph the point 2, 3, we would go out 2 and then we go up 3 to get to that point. Polar coordinates, rather than an x and a y, you're given an r and a theta. And so the r is referring to the radius on a circle. And the theta is referring to an angle. So, for instance, if I had a point here, and that point was gotten by, say, rotating pi over 4 degrees, and say that length here was 5, so this point would be the point 5 comma pi over 4. So you're given so you can kind of think about it. It's like I go out 5 and then I swing pi over 4. Rather than go out an x and up a y, so we're going out a radius and then we're swinging. You can kind of imagine that this point is sitting on a giant circle. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to plot some points. So for example, plot the polar points, the polar coordinates. So the first one here, 3 comma pi over 3. So if we think about it, pi over 3 would be kind of roughly about there. So we're talking about here's a length 3, and then we have to rotate pi over 3 degrees. We can do negative angles, so you could have something like 2 minus 4 pi over 3. So if you think about, I kind of like to think about like we did before the spokes, right? So pi over 3 divides the axes into 3 coordinates there. So 3 sections in terms of each half. So if we're going minus pi over 3, we're going to count backwards here. So 1 pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 3, 4 pi over 3. So we're talking about swinging that way, and we're going to go out a distance of 2. So say this was my distance 2, and then I swung in this direction minus 4 pi over 3. You can start with a radius that's negative as well. So if you have, for instance, minus 4 comma pi over 4. Okay, so I usually like to think of the angle first. So here's the angle pi over 4. The minus 4 means you're going to go in the opposite direction. So we're going to extend this line out this way. A positive point would go this way, but a negative would be saying that we're going, so rather than going out this way, we're going to go out this way. So we're going to be out this direction 4. So all the negative is saying is go on the opposite side of that angle.